Our next guest is as bold and brassy as she's brilliant, and frankly, she's got more opinions than your uncle at a wedding after 7 pints.
Okay. She's conquered small screen, big screen, Broadway. She's interviewed more A-listers than we've had cups of tea. I've only had 2 today.
Yeah, cups of tea.
Done, yeah. She's done more than that. Yeah.
I've had more tea than the pints the uncle had at the wedding aforementioned. Anyway, which is saying something, folks. Anyway, please welcome the one, the only Rosie O'Donnell to the show.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see everybody.
Great to see you.
I'm well, thanks. I actually can't get over how bright it stays until 10-something at night.
Yeah.
And then at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
the birds are up.
Have you had an Irish winter yet, though?
We got here in January.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't that bad. You know, people kept saying, oh, the weather in Ireland is going to be tough for you. And then every day in the last 3 months, it was sunny.
Well, that is a bit of an anomaly now, I have
That's
to say.
what
Normally,
everyone's saying. Don't get used to it.
Summer is 2 days that are of about 16 degrees, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe you brought the sunshine with you, which is
Well,
okay.
I love it when it's even mildly hot. People are like half naked at the pubs, you know, taking their jackets and their sweaters off. They're like, I'm dying of the heat, Rosie. I'm dying of the heat. I'm like, it's 70 degrees. What are you doing? You know?
Yeah, I know. But you know what? It's Ireland.
It is.
You'll get used to it. And you're wearing green as well.
Of course, come on. I did my DNA test and I'm 100% Irish.
Like
What?
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
You can tell by our big Irish heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, the big Irish head.
100%.
Yeah.
They said, just move here, woman. You know, I was like, I think I will.
Well, Conan O'Brien might have to move here as well because of the rate of talk show hosts are getting cancelled over in America. My God, Stephen Colbert, what was your reaction to that?
I was shocked. I really was. But this is what an authoritarian government does. This is what they do. They try to silence the artists. They try to silence the truth tellers. They took all of these amazing pundits off the television, Terry Moran, Jim Acosta. And, you know, once ABC and CBS gave in to the bribery, gave in to the blackmail that Trump threatened them with lawsuits that were bogus, and they gave him millions of dollars. As soon as that happened, they're done as a media company.
I suppose for context here, in case people don't know, there was basically a proposed merger, really, involving Paramount, the parent company of CBS.
Yes.
Anyway, long story short, Trump went to sue CBS, isn't that right?
Yes, because of an interview on 60 Minutes where he didn't like the way he was edited or that Kamala Harris was edited.
So even though the legal team thought he'd win, they still paid out the 16 million, and Stephen Colbert basically said it was a bribe.
Which it was.
Yeah.
And
3 days later...
Yes, because that's what he has the power now to demand that people lose their jobs, to call out private citizens like myself or like Bruce Springsteen, who spoke out very eloquently about him as well. And this is what they do. They try to silence people, and they put the fear of God in everyone that they're going to lose their jobs.
You've left America.
Yes.
Because of what's been going on.
Because of him. I read Project 2025. That was pretty much the foundation of what he wanted to do. And I said, I have to get out of here. And I left before the inauguration on purpose because for 20 years, he's been using me as a punchline in all of his jokes.
I know.
And he's a very unbalanced individual. And it's very dangerous to be in his target range. And for 4 years when he was in last time, it was not a good time for me. And I have a little child who's 12 who has autism, and I have to be on top of my game. You know, I have to be mentally and emotionally there and present. And I didn't want to be distracted by him or have him play such a major role in my reality. So I said, where could I go? And this was the only choice for me.
Yeah.
And we've had really the most amazing welcome. It's the most beautiful place. And my daughter said, I like it better here than America.
But it's incredibly sad, though, isn't it? Because I suppose growing up, we see the Hollywood movies, we the presidents coming over here, etc. And I suppose the land of the free, the home of the brave, free speech is entrenched in your rights. But that has completely turned on its head. Like, you're lucky enough to be able to decamp to Ireland or any other people who are able to leave the country.
Yeah.
But for normal American citizens in a similar situation to you, perhaps have children that are vulnerable, it must be absolutely terrifying.
It totally is. And my friends cry. I call my friends and I say, how's it going today? And they're like, it's worse every day. I feel like we're in a dystopian nightmare and no one is doing anything about it. I don't understand how he's able to get away with the things he gets away with, breaking the law, the emoluments clause, taking bribes, blackmailing people. He's a criminal con man. And if you grew up in New York, as I did, you knew this your whole life. We watched his planes get repossessed off the runway at LaGuardia. We watched him try to sell steaks and cologne in a fake university, steal money from charities that his family can't even have a charity anymore in New York City. in the New York State because they had stolen money from kids' cancer charities. There's no way you can look at the facts about this man and believe in him still. You have to have willful blindness.
Okay, my daughter got married in New York in March. That was a dream of hers. And I had been to New York in November 23, I beg your pardon, and then we went back for the wedding. It was a different atmosphere.
Yes.
Completely changed.
Yes.
Were people almost afraid to bring up politics for fear of what would be said. But the impression I got was New York isn't behind this guy.
They were never behind him because we had his number from the beginning. You know, he grew up in Queens. I grew up in Suffolk County, very close to each other. And we're very, much the same kind of cultural people. Now, he was never anyone that I looked up to. He was somebody who I thought was a joke. I had a show for 6 years. I would never have him on. Never. And once we had a thing where if you came on and you sweep the floor during sweeps, did a cameo, the company Swiffer would give us money for charity. So that's the only time I said, yeah, let him come on and sweep the floor. And I never spoke to the man in my life. I don't know anything about him. I was at his wedding. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Oh, yes.
Which one?
Marla Maples. She was on Broadway with a guy who was my leading man in the next Broadway show that I did. So he got invited and I was his +1. And I thought, what a kick. Go to this moron's wedding, And I went, and you know what he did as he walked down the aisle in the Plaza Hotel or whatever? He shook hands with the celebrities. Now, not with me, because I didn't know the guy at all, but he was shaking hands on his way to go say I do to his beloved.
But he knows you now. You've been living rent-free in his head for quite a long time now.
20 years.
Which is absolutely bizarre when you think about it.
It really is. But I think he never had a woman stand up and say publicly exactly who he was. Yeah. He threatened to sue me for 20 years, but he couldn't sue me because I didn't lie about him. I told facts.
Yeah, but when you see that and you look at what's actually going on over there now, particularly New York, I know the Democratic nomination is for mayor has gone completely opposite to what the establishment wanted. Cuomo wanted it, he didn't get it.
Well, what the Democrats wanted, they said. Yeah. But I believe the Democratic Party has really dropped the ball. This has been like a coup by the Republicans, and they're shutting down Congress. They're not voting. They're protecting pedophiles. It's really criminal what's happened in the United States. It's been a takeover of the democracy that we supposedly stand by.
Yeah.
I spoke to somebody yesterday, my wife's friend's daughter, who's going to New York next week, petrified that there may be something on her phone that will stop her getting through.
And that's been happening. That's been happening to people.
I have no hope of getting through anyway, if that's the case, let me tell you.
No, I don't think I'll be allowed in either after this conversation.
Come over to my house at Dublin 4, we'll have a pint.
We'll sort it out then.
We will indeed. But now, there's been loads of speculation, I suppose, in the newspapers of late. You may know that our own beloved Michael D. Higgins, our president, is stepping down quite shortly.
Yes. OK. So, bearing in mind that you're 100% Irish.
Yes.
Could you run?
I don't think so.
Technically speaking now, if you become an Irish citizen, you were allowed to run for president. If we managed to shunt it through fairly quickly, would you be tempted?
No, but I would be honoured.
Imagine how funny it would be if Donald Trump saw you being the president of Ireland, though.
Oh, well, it might be worth it just to do that. But there are so many more qualified people, and I'm way too emotional. I would, walk in there and start saying, this is what we should do, and we have to take care of each other, and we have to help the people in Palestine. We have to stop this.
That's what our one does now.
Yes, I know.
You could just continue it.
I think he's wonderful, and I think the Taoiseach is wonderful too. I would have to go to the White House, and the concept of being anywhere in a room near him, I wouldn't trust myself. So no, I would be honoured to be asked, but I would not be able to do it.
So if you got a bowl of shamrock on St. Patrick's Day to deliver to Donald Trump, what would you do with it?
Well, my Lord. I don't even know if I could be in his presence. I really don't. I think he's darkness itself. And it's not really a right or left thing anymore. It's a human thing.
But I think I suppose, going back to it, he did initially claim to be a Democrat, flipped to the Republicans, and he famously said that if he ever ran for president, he'd go to the Republican side because he thought Republican voters were dumb.
Yes.
But there's something very much more sinister going on now.
Yes.
And because of the whole thing, if America sneezes, the whole world catches a cold, but we can see it. There's a domino effect happening quite everywhere around the world, that people, I suppose, who have these opinions and these beliefs, these right-wing beliefs that were, I suppose, not allowed to express them because it was so unheard of. Now they're just saying what they want.
Well,
in a very disturbing manner.
When he says make America great again, does he mean bring racism back? Because that's what he's doing. Not that it ever went away in America, but, there's systemic racism innately in the country. And he just blatantly goes after brown people. They're tasing people in Walmart. They're taking children apart from their families at schools. What they're doing is un-American, it's illegal, and it's really criminal. And when America really starts to wake up, and I believe they are, I believe that people actually have a line that they will not go past, and child sex trafficking is the line.
And Candace Owens, I suppose, if you're agreeing with Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, I mean, like we have been the last couple of days, we discussed it before here, then maybe the tide is turning quite a bit.
Yeah, I think the tide is turning, and I really hope it's not too late because, it would be a shame to have this democracy disappear off the earth and to have authoritarian governments. The people that he looks up to, Putin, these, horrible dictators, that's what he wants to do and who he wants to be, but that's not what the United States is all about.
OK, and we hope that will be the case, that
certainly.
people will see this for what it really is. My wife and I, we sat down to watch TV the other day, and you popped up on Sky Movies in A League of Their Own. And it's just a lovely reminder of what a great actor you are.
Thank you so much.
Is that where you got to be? Is that where your friendship began with Madonna?
Yes, that was when Penny Marshall said to me, Rosie, Madonna's coming in tomorrow. If she likes you and likes me, she'll do the movie. Try to be funny. How much stress was that? Like, I had diarrhea for 2 days. What do you say to Madonna? How do you bond with her? But, I had just seen her movie Truth or Dare, and we both lost our mothers very young. We both are named after our mothers. So when I met her, that's what I said, and we kind of bonded like sisters. And we're still close. We're still good friends. I just talked to her last week, and she's in England now and doing really well, has the kids with her, and I love her very much.
But stand-up, I suppose, is your first love. Would I be
That's how I
right in saying that? So
That's how I
you're
started,
kind of going back to your roots now with this new show. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, when I got here, I was asked to do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which I had heard about but wasn't really familiar with. And so I started doing stand-up in the local clubs here, the International Comedy Club, and it was really fantastic. They gave me all these wonderful spots, and then my friend who came and saw it said, why don't you tell the story about why you came to Ireland and what your life has been like since? Because the stand-up special I was about to shoot before I moved didn't really feel relevant anymore. So this is more a one-woman show that I'm doing in August in the Fringe that is about my life. It takes it from when my mother died, and after my mother died, my father took his 5 children to the north of Ireland, not quite Belfast, but awful close, in 1973.
Wow.
At the height of the Troubles.
Yeah. Wow.
That's where we were for the summer after our mother died. Thanks for the therapy, Dad. But he was in shock, obviously, trying to figure out what to do with his life. And we had all my cousins there. They would take us into the woods with cap guns and then bury us to watch the British planes come over the woods. And
what now? Bury you? What now?
And with leaves,
Right, okay,
they would bury us with leaves, and they would say, watch, and the planes, the helicopters would come, and we would see the searchlights. We thought it was like Disneyland. Now, as a 63-year-old woman, it's terrifying to me that that's what we were doing for fun.
Yeah.
But, we had a great time. It was very cold. They had roasts every week. We had never seen a roast. We rebelled against the roast. There was chicken with strings on it. I was like, Dad, I'm not eating food with no strings. Don't try to make me. And they didn't have any cereal. They kept trying to give me porridge, which is what happens to oatmeal when it gives up on life, I think.
Not a fan.
No, not a fan
of Irish cuisine.
Not a fan.
Hopefully it has improved now.
It really has. The restaurant in my town where I live now, Crudo in Sandymount, just won the best casual dining in Ireland. And that's my home hangout.
Excellent.
Yeah, I felt very proud.
And you have a gig this weekend as well?
I have a gig this weekend at the lovely Olympia Theatre. Three Olympia, I think it's called, yes. And we're sold out, I believe, and I'm very thrilled about that. It's really going to be the first time I'm able to do the full show in a big theater. Although in the Fringe Festival, I'm only going to be in a 300-seat venue. So that's kind of nice. I wanted to keep it
nice
small and
Yeah.
intimate.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy to get to do it first here in Ireland.
Oh, you're going to have a great crack.
You
Yes.
will certainly have. And well, you mentioned already how our food standards here have improved greatly since the early 70s.
Yes.
You're going to stay to sample some of those delights in
I
just a minute.
certainly will.
OK, Rosie,
I won't be
thank
there
you for now.
They don't let me anywhere near the kitchen. I burn everything. But Martin and Chief will be with you. I'll be
The
here.
girl can't boil water.
Understood. I understand. Believe me.
Now, Rosie will take her new show, Common Knowledge, to Dublin's Free Olympia Theatre this Sunday, as we just mentioned. There's some limited tickets available, I think might be at the door, so, or else you can check ticketmaster.com.
OK, come on up.
As President of Ireland, I'd like to say, God bless our country. Hi. Oh my goodness, Barry's tea? Thank you, how fantastic. Hi. Teo. Tato. As in potato. And what team is this?
It's the same colour as this. It's Ireland.
I thought it was like the individual county.
No. This is Ireland.
Of
See?
course, Ireland.
Shamrock.
All right,
All
thank
yours.
you so much. I like that you get gifts on this show. As President of Ireland, I'd like to say, God bless our country. Woo!